Well, Tom, in terms of wins, that's a really hard-fought win, but a really good win.
Yeah, it's great to come away with 4 points. Quins are flying high at the moment. They've knocked over Bath away, and they're really playing a great brand of rugby. So to turn them over, it's probably not how we liked it, but we managed to sort of dig deep and get the win in the end.
Stino's just described it as maybe using a get-out-of-jail card, but it was nip and tuck right until the end.
Yeah, it was, and it was important. They had a fantastic first half, and it was important that we stayed in touching distance with them, and we just about managed that, and we actually went up at half time, but it was a strong old wind out there and the conditions came down, and then it was a case of really grinding it out, and we had to play some running rugby in the wet with those conditions, so fair play to the boys.
You talk about grinding out first half. To go in at half time was a real fillip, really, wasn't it? To go in winning, having absorbed so much.
Yeah, I think looking back on it, they tried to play out the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes with some sort of some pick and goes and some just staying in this sort of 10 metre channel, and thankfully we managed to get a turnover right on half time, and because of the way they're playing, they were so tight, we might have just shipped the ball wide, and Shorty had a relative run in the corner.
You probably haven't seen rain like that probably since the playoff final night, but just how tough were the conditions out there tonight? It
was tough, but it wasn't. When you got into it, it was just a bit of old school rugby, and it was actually quite nice. We just needed to front up, and I think we did that as a pack, especially in that second half. And
in terms of the team now, are the lessons being learnt from previous years? Do you feel, Tom, that you're winning these games now? Last year, perhaps a game like that may have got away from you, and now you're coming over the finish line.
Definitely, I think enough of the boys have been in those kind of close games to realise what's required, and it was a relief to get over the line. But I think we always thought, especially after the first sort of 10-15 minutes in that second half, when we really sort of fronted up, that we could do it, and we managed to push it through.
As is the relentless nature of this season, it doesn't get any easier. Next week, Wasps, then Claremont, back to back. As players, you must be relishing these sort of challenges.
Very much so. And that's, you see why we've got such a big squad and such a quality and depth this year, because I think it's going to be called upon, and you've already seen a few knocks, a few injuries. So everyone's going to be called upon, and it's great that they've got these tough games coming up.
And in your position, particularly the back row, the competition is fierce.
Yeah, it is, and it needs to be. And the boys out there have been doing a fantastic job. And
but it's driving standards up, isn't it?
It is, and then and the boys to come in, they're all fresh and ready to go and want to make an impact. So it's not a case of no one can really rest on their laurels. So it's a good place to be.